you again for tuning in with us and staying with us through that break. I didn't talk about it at the start of the show today, but it's our 96th show. We are now 4 shows away from 100. So next week we'll have 97, 98. So 2 weeks from now will be our 100th show. Yep. Can't wait for that one. That's going to be a big one. But also can't wait for the rest of today because today is Super Bowl Sunday. Or not today, but it's this weekend. So today is Super Bowl show. All about the Super Bowl. If you tuned in last segment, you heard our key storylines in both the Rams and the Patriots roads to get there. And now we're going to break down individual talent.
That's right. It's our Super Bowl show on Thursday. Right now, Super Bowl is on Sunday. Make sure to tune into that. I know you will. And right now, we went over our key storylines and road to the Super Bowl, like you said. And now we're going to get into our top 10 players in the Super Bowl. Who is performing in the Super Bowl out of everybody? Who's the top 10 players? And right now, this first segment, we're going 2 segments here. We're going to 10 to 6 players in this first one. And then next segment, we're going 5 to number 1 player in the Super Bowl. So, Seth, kick it off with us with your number 10 player in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we'll jump straight into it. I'm actually going to start with a couple honorable mentions here.
Yeah.
I got Ndamukong Suh as an honorable mention. Great talent. At one point, maybe was the top defensive tackle in the entire NFL. But now he's second to Aaron Donald, and kind of a disappointing season, but big-time game against the Saints. So definitely a key guy to watch in this Super Bowl as he may start to get it going.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks, another guy that does not crack my top 10. I got one receiver inside my top 10. Cooks just on the outside, just missed. So he is definitely a notable guy to mention. Kyle Van Noy, another guy that really caught my eye against the Chiefs. He is also an honorable mention. So shout out to those guys. They just missed the list. But starting with my number 10, it is a rookie, and it is the running back for the New England Patriots, Sony Michel. Great season, was playing really well. He got hurt. I can't remember which game during the regular season, but he got hurt, missed some time. Actually, it looked like to me it was going to be a season ender.
Mm-hmm.
It looked pretty brutal. Comes back, and you saw his importance against the Chiefs. Playing, I mean, he's got it says right 53 carries through the first 2 games of the playoffs. Pretty remarkable how much big of a workload he's had, especially for a Patriots running back. That is really a weapon that we have not seen from the Patriots. So he is a key guy to watch come Super Bowl Sunday, and he is my 10th best player in the game.
Yeah, I'll start there, Mike. Just you with my honorable mentions. Ndamukong Suh, a great player in the game. He, like you said, kind of a rough season for him, but the Cowboys and the Saints games, those were both of his 2 best games when it mattered in the playoffs. So he's a great player. And for the Rams receivers, couldn't have Cooper Kupp in here. He is injured.
Would he have been top 10?
Don't think so, but he's still one of my favorite players. You got shout out to Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods, both of them. Cooks is their big deep threat. Lightning quick. He's already been with the Patriots, so he kind of knows their system. Mm-hmm. But Robert Woods, I think, might be more impactful on Sunday in the Super Bowl. He's more of a physical, Juju Hines-Ward type of player he's going to block for you. He's very reliable, and he can also have the big deep shot like he had in the Saints game. So Robert Woods is a key player to watch in the Super Bowl. I think I'll predict he does have a touchdown in the Super Bowl from Jared Goff. Sean McVay will draw something up for sure for that one. And then for the Patriots, an honorable mention is James White, very good running back.
That's a good one.
He's going to be backing up my number 10 player, just like you, Sony Michel, the running back for the New England Patriots, rookie running back. I don't like drafting running backs in the first round possibly, but I think the Patriots hit it out of the park this year. Sony Michel's been fantastic all season long for them. Really, it's been great for their system, their style. I heard Belichick talking about Georgia's program and Kirby Smart, how he runs that team and those players, how they're NFL ready. And that's why they drafted 2 Georgia players in the first round, because Bill Belichick knows how good Georgia players are, how smart they are. And Sony Michel's very smart. He's going to be very impactful on Sunday because that's what the Patriots are going to do. They're going to run the ball every single first down very early in this game. They're going to control the clock, the line of scrimmage, and it all starts with the run game. And it's a big-time load for a rookie in Sony Michel, but he's their 10th best player in the Super Bowl. He's going to have a huge impact on Sunday.
Yeah, and you can't have a dominant running back and you can't have a dominant run game unless you have a good O-line, which will take me to my 9th best player in this game. My only offensive linemen, again, they're not big glory guys. They don't get a lot of fame, but they deserve a lot. They're the ones protecting, especially the Patriots O-line. They've done a great job this year. So I got Shaq Mason as my 9th best offensive, or best player in the game, my number 1 offensive lineman in this game, the right guard for the New England Patriots. I think you could, and I'll have more on Rob Gronkowski later, but you could put a huge part of the Patriots' success over their entire dynasty on the offensive line. They've always had a great offensive line protecting Tom Brady,
right.
But this year is special because of that run game. The way they are now a block-first team through the run, and that is led by Shaq Mason. That guy controls that offensive line, and I think he's the best offensive lineman in this game and my 9th best overall player.
Yeah, and nobody on the Chiefs D-line could even touch Tom Brady. They did once, they got a flag. So that offensive line for the Patriots is fantastic. That's why they won that game, because of the run game. They were able to run and control the clock that entire game, and they created no pressure for Tom Brady. He was putting on the clinic, and if they're going to win the Super Bowl, they got to do the same there.
And he's got his hands full with
Oh,
physical
absolutely.
defensive line. Again, that was probably my number 1 key. Is the Rams D-line versus the Pats O-line, but it's led by him. He's going to come ready to play.
I'll go with my number 9 now. Maybe a little lower than you think. Stephon Gilmore, the corner for the New England Patriots. I saw some things. He is ranked maybe the number 1 corner this year on multiple sites. He had a phenomenal year. He's a lockdown corner. But just the Patriots, I know they can win without possibly his success he's had. I still know they can win, but Gilmore's a great player. It will be interesting to see how they line him up, if he's going to be on Brandon Cooks or shadowing him, or if he's just going to stay on the strong side of the field, or where they're going to position him there. But I think he's going to have a big impact. He's going to I do think he'll stay with Brandon Cooks. That's why I'm predicting Robert Woods has a pretty decent day, because Cooks is not going to be open too much, because my number 9 player, Stephon Gilmore, will be on him. So Gilmore for me is my number 9 and only corner in this top 10.
Only corner, interesting. Because I'm going to go now into my 8th player, and I'll have more on Gilmore later, but it's also corner. But for the other side, the Los Angeles Rams, I'm going with Aqib Talib. Not putting Marcus Peters in here. As you know, I do not like Marcus Peters. But I think Aqib Talib, a big part of their defensive success down the stretch. Again, they're early on, even when they were 8-0, their defense was kind of struggling. Their defense was their weakly. They had a great D-line, but they were giving up. They're winning every game because they're scoring 30, 40 plus, but they were giving up a lot of points during that span as well. But once Talib came back from injury, I think he really is the vocal leader of this defense. Donald's a pretty quiet dude. He's their best defensive player, obviously. But Aqib Talib is their vocal leader. He saw it in the interview during the Super Bowl week with the media, where he said he sets the tone of the drip for the team. I think he really gets this team going. He gets this team fired up. He's a veteran. He's been in the league for a long time. And I think he's been waiting for this moment. He's played in 2 Super Bowls and with Denver, won one of them as well.
Yep.
So he's been here before. This Rams team does not have a lot of experience with Super Bowl, if any.
Right.
And so this guy is going to have to set the tone with the defense and get everyone figured out. And I think he may be top 5 most important players in this game, but on talent-wise, I'm going number 8.
I think that's a phenomenal pick. Aqib Talib, we saw his impact. He got injured earlier this year, came in, and that's when they started having their success in the back end of their season. He's definitely their best corner. Very vocal, like you said, and really sets the tone for that defense. So I think it's a very good pick. I do not have him in my top 10, just right outside. But he's a great pick. And that leads me to my number 8. It's another leader on the offensive side for the Los Angeles Rams, and that is left tackle Andrew Whitworth. Not the best O-lineman in this game, which I'm going to get to right next after this, like you already talked about. But Andrew Whitworth is a veteran. He finally got his first playoff win. We saw how important it was when they beat the Cowboys a couple weeks ago. He is their leader on offense, sets a tone. He's been a great mentor for Jared Goff. We've seen Jared Goff not get overwhelmed. It's a big part of what happened in the Saints game. He never was overwhelmed and looked fine. That's because of Sean McVay and Andrew Whitworth, the 2 leaders on offense, calming him down and knowing what's going to happen next. He's been phenomenal all season long. The leader of that offense is Andrew Whitworth, and I think he's a very big, impactful player in this game. Their best O-lineman is going to be able to create running opportunities for CJ and Todd Gurley. So I think Andrew Whitworth is a big opportunity to have him have a great game in this one, and that's why he's my number 8 player.
Yeah, I love that pick. I was looking at Bleacher Reports. They ranked every single player in this game. Andrew Wyeth, they had inside their top 10 as well. So I'd love to see the O-lineman get credit. I did not have him in mind. I did have one offensive lineman. We just talked about Shaq Mason, which I'm sure you'll have more on coming up. But my number 7 player, as we move now into number 7, we got 2 more before we head to a break, and then we'll give you our top 5. My number 7 is tight end Rob Gronkowski.
Okay.
Years back, obviously, even if you look at last year or 2 years ago, last year he didn't play in the Super Bowl, but you look at prime Gronkowski, he's top 3 without a doubt in my mind. And yes, he's lost some of his mojo. He's not as dominant in the receiving game. We don't see nearly as many Gronk spikes as we used to. But where he is dominant is his run game.
Yep.
His blocking is, I think, one of the most underrated things we've ever seen from a tight end. Everyone knows him from his receiving, his spikes, his attitude, his off-the-field stuff, and how much fun it looks like he's having. But when it gets down to grit and grind inside in the trenches, he's willing to do that too. Great blocker, perhaps one of the best blocking tight ends we've ever seen, and that's where he showed his importance this year, and that's why he stays inside my top 10 as my 7th best player in this game.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I was watching Colin Cowherd's top 10 players in the Super Bowl earlier before our show. He did not have Gronk on his top 10, which is pretty surprising.
Bleacher Report did not either.
I will have Gronk in a little bit, not in this segment, I'll say that. But we'll get to my number 7 pick right now, and that is offensive guard Shaq Mason. You had him just a little bit ago. Best O-lineman in this game. He's ranked as the best guard in football right now. Phenomenal all season long. It really lets Tom Brady have time. We all know that about their run game, how they're able to run the ball. And Shaq Mason's their leader on the offensive line. He's just big time. He's the best guard. No one's going to get past him. He's going to have his hands full, of course, against this Rams D line. But he's been able to put on a clinic all playoffs. Nobody can touch Tom Brady, and he's going to be very good on Sunday, and he needs to be going up against Sue and Donald and everybody on that Rams defense.
Yeah, I love how high you got 2 offensive linemen. Always great to see. They do not get a lot of fame and attention, so it's great to see that. My last guy before we head off to break, my number 6 guy is my only wide receiver on this list, and that is Julian Edelman. And we've seen Patriots use guys, Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, guys like this before, especially come Super Bowl time. It seems like these guys always have a huge impact come Super Bowl time. Edelman, obviously the game 2 years ago the game against the Seahawks was really when he started to come onto the stage and accept the stage. And then last year had a big game as well. Has a great opportunity. We saw what he did against the Chiefs. Yes, he dropped the one that led to the pick. But it seems like whenever they need to go to someone, they need a big-time catch, Brady's always looking at Edelman first. And I think he's going to have a big-time game, especially against – they got Talib, but Talib isn't a slot corner cover kind of guy. He's going to be on the outside, so it could open up a lot for Edelman through the middle. Their Rams secondary struggles. So I do like Edelman to have a big game in this one. I think he is a dark horse for MVP in this game for sure, and I'll have more on that later as well. But he is my 6th best player in this draft, or in this game.
And I'm going to stick right there with you. Julian Edelman is my 6th best player in this game. He's not the best athlete. He's not the best receiver maybe in the game itself, but he's the most reliable, and that's what counts. He is big time for Tom Brady. They both have a connection. We saw how important Julian Edelman was in the AFC Championship game. Just key catch after key catch. He's phenomenal for this team. Patriots always have had that guy like a Wes Welker earlier in Tom Brady's career. Julian Edelman's that same player. He's the most reliable offensive threat for this Patriots team, even more reliable than Gronk. And so Edelman's going to have a big game because they're going to run the ball early for sure. But Rams, Wade Phillips, they know that's what the Patriots are going to do. So they're going to take that away as much as they can. And Tom Brady's going to have to go out there and win this game. And it might be to Julian Edelman for the win in this game.
Yeah, it would not surprise me if down the stretch he's looking Edelman's way. That's what always seems to happen. But those are our numbers 10 through 6. We will have 5 through 1. Coming up for you next segment. I will say I'm a little surprised. No Johnny Hecker on your list.
No.
no punter today.
Rams specialists are fantastic, I'll say that.
Yeah, definitely a guy that makes his name heard, that is for sure. But stay tuned. We got numbers 5 through 1. I'm sure we'll have some similarities, but as you can tell already, we'll have some differences as well. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.